R&R, even more, packing up boxes, signing contracts, and spending some serious money when it comes to moving. Larry Bodine is the editor-in-chief for Lawyers.com, joins us this morning with a look at your legal rights on whether you should handle your own move yourself or hire a company. Larry, good morning.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. I did not know this, but May is the most popular time of the year to move, so this is where your advice is really going to help out.
That's right. Every year, 40 million Americans move, and 1 out of 5 moves involves a claim for damage. So there's a lot to be careful about.
Okay, Larry, so here's a scenario for you. I've just made my move. My property has been damaged. What do I do?
If you're dealing with an honest mover, and in most cases they will have built-in insurance coverage as part of the cost of the move, and it's a simple matter of just filing a claim form. Unfortunately, there are dishonest movers out there, and they may say that they're not responsible for it, they may have no insurance, and you're going to be forced to file a claim against them in small claims or district court, and that way you can recover damages and get a repair or get a replacement.
Yeah, you've heard those horror stories of movers taking people's belongings for hostage, and you feel so bad because they just want to set up shop in their new place, not have to chase their own belongings. So that is excellent advice. Thank you so much. Here's a question for you. So I've moved and I want to get my security deposit back from my previous landlord, but they're not budging. What type of recourse do I have in this situation?
You know, I've been in this situation a number of times, and your really only option is to take the landlord to small claims court and file a complaint. I've done this successfully a couple of times, and not only got my deposit back, but I got the insurance for the entire time. I got the interest for the entire time he was holding my deposit. So the other thing that your listeners should do is to take a look at the ordinances of the town that they live in, because frequently there will be tenants' rights provisions, because a lot of landlords take advantage of tenants, and that's what those provisions are for.
Okay, so back to the moving company. What type of insurance do I need, or is the insurance I already have good enough?
The insurance you're going to get from a legitimate mover is going to be about $100 worth of coverage per pound. So that's $100 whether it's a pound of jewelry or a pile of paper towels. What I would recommend is that you specifically buy moving insurance either from your homeowner policy, or you can go on the internet and get a moving policy for $125.
While you're busy signing, what's a liability form, and should I sign that?
You may have to sign the liability form, but if you do, realize that you are waiving any responsibility that the mover has for damaging your goods or losing them. Typically, the waiver will cover things like jewelry or coin collections or furs or firearms, and these are all small items, and chances are you should just move them yourself. But the bottom line is you want to make absolutely sure that you know what the mover is not responsible for damaging.
When is it legal for me to break my lease, and then when is it legal for the landlord to break the lease?
You can break your lease anytime as a tenant. The downside is that you're going to be responsible for all of the remaining payments on the lease, and the landlord can take you to court to pay that. Now, what I've done is I've negotiated with the landlord and told him I could find him a substitute tenant who met his qualifications, and that this person would take over all the rental payments. Now, I did this as someone who's a trained lawyer, so you may want to go to Lawyers.com and find a lawyer who will do this for you.
All right, we appreciate your advice during the busiest time of the year to get moving. Larry, thank you so much for joining us.
It's been my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You bet.
It's viewed as an odd affliction with a variety of strange symptoms. Now we learn Tourette's syndrome doesn't have to be a life sentence, thanks in part to our next 2 guests.